Good morning, my dear students. In the last lectures, we have discussed about the magnetostatics, next magnetic properties. In these two particular topics, we have discussed about what is the magnetic dipole and what is the formula of the magnetic dipole moment, next magnetic field, magnetic intensity, next the different formulas, that is like the magnetic field at any point on the axial line, equatorial line. Similarly, what is the magnetic potential and the expression for the magnetic potential at any point on the axial line, equatorial line, like this. Then all the points which are concerned to these two topics in detail we have discussed, and the concerned formulas also we have derived. Now on these two topics, whatever the numerical problems will come across in the examination, then those what are the problems we will solve what today. Now, before going to solve these problems, then it is better that I have written all the formulas which will come across in solving the problems. Those formulas I have written it here. Then I feel better that the first you write down all these what it is the formulas, so that if you are having all the formulas at one place, then very easily you can remember, so that the solving the problems will become easy for you. Therefore, first what you do is better you write down these formulas at one page, so that the problems we will discuss in the after writing these what it is the formulas. I hope all of you might have written the formulas which I have written on the board, then so that it becomes very easy, isn't it, to remember, and the solving the problems will become easy for you. Now I have written the first problem on the board. First, carefully you see here, what is given: a steel wire of length L has a magnetic moment M. Then if it is bent into, the first case is a semicircle, what is its magnetic moment? Second, if it is bent into circle, what is its magnetic moment? That is, in these two cases, what will be the magnetic moment of the wire, that we have to calculate. Now it is given that here, when the wire, it is a straight wire of length L, then its magnetic moment is what it is the M. Now suppose if the same wire is bent into a semicircle of this type, then what will be the magnetic moment? That you have to calculate it. Now here, in this case, as you know that magnetic moment general formula is what? Magnetic moment M is equal to the 2L into what it is the M. Isn't it? Now here, the meaning is very important. What is this 2L means? We call it as the magnetic length, but its definition is what? Magnetic length of a dipole. It is equal to the distance between the two poles. Distance between the two magnetic poles. This is the what it is the 2L. It is represented by 2L, and M is what it is the pole strength. Now here, then suppose if you consider this is the north pole and this is the south pole, then what it is the total length? It is let us consider the length 2L, isn't it? Then it is equal to what it is the this M, or it is even if I write this as L, isn't it? Length, total length. Now you have to take it as a what it is the L. Now listen here, either you write L or 2L, but whatever it may be, its meaning is very important, isn't it? The distance between the two magnetic poles, it is called as the magnetic, what it is the length. That you can take it as L, or you can take it as a 2L also. It doesn't make any difference, isn't it? But here, in the derivation of the formulas, for our convenience, we have taken it as a 2L. Isn't it? So that you should not confuse it. Therefore, now instead of writing small l, better to write it is a capital L. Isn't it? Now, distance between the two magnetic, what is the poles? If it is L, then magnetic moment is what is the M. Now, I will write it here, this what it is the M is equal to L into M. Now here, suppose if it is bent in the form of what it is a semicircle, then what will be the magnetic moment of this wire? Now what will happen is, when it is bent into a semicircle, now this is the north pole and this is the south pole, isn't it? Then this will become as the total or the distance between the two poles. It is equal to this much, isn't it? Now here, if this is bent in the form of a semicircle means now this will become as a radius and our total distance, it is equal to what it is the diameter, or if I write it here as r and r, now this distance will become equal to 2r, isn't it? Therefore, here when it is a straight wire it is. Now, when it is bent in what is a semicircle, then magnetic moment, this capital M, it is equal to, then general formula is what? Distance between the two poles, that is what it is here. You can take it as a 2r, where r is what it is the radius into pole strength. This is M. Now, here what you do is you calculate what is the radius value. Now you see here, if this is a semicircle means this will become as a half of the what it is the circumference, isn't it? Then this what it is the total length of the wire L it is there. Now it will become as the what it is a semicircle means it is the half of the circumference it is. Therefore, here L is equal to, then the general formula of circumference is what? 2 pi r, isn't it? Total circumference formula is 2 pi r. Half of the circumference means it is equal to what it is the pi r. Correct? Now this, therefore, from this equation, this r, it is equal to L divided by what it is the pi. This is what we get it here. Therefore, now if I take magnetic moment, instead of writing M, I will take it as a M dash, isn't it? So that you should not be in confusion. Now, therefore, M dash, it is equal to, what you get it here? This M dash, it is equal to, now the formula is what it is the 2r into M. Now this is equal to 2, you write as it is. Now, instead of this, what it is the r, isn't it? Then you write down what it is the, this L divided by what it is the pi, isn't it? Then r value, it is equal to L divided by what it is the pi into what it is the M. Now this is equal to, then here you write 2 as it is. L into M is what? L into M, it is nothing but it is the magnetic moment, isn't it? Then that I will write it here as M divided by pi. Now see, this is the magnetic moment of the wire when it is bent in the form of what it is a semicircle. This is equal to this much. Now, the next is here, when it is bent in a circle, isn't it? Now, the second case is when it is bent into a circle, then here, what will happen is when it is bent into a circle, then it becomes like this. Like this, correct? Now, here you see, when this is bent in the form of a semicircle, it becomes like this, isn't it? Now, when it is bent in the form of a circle, still, then what will happen is the two poles will coincide, isn't it? Two poles will coincide. That is, north pole and south pole will coincide, so that the distance between the two poles is what it is the 0. Hence, the magnetic moment is what it is the 0. Therefore, here, when it is bent into a circle, then, isn't it? L is equal to what it is a 0. Isn't it? L is equal to 0, or L is equal to 0, so that magnetic moment, then in short form, I will write it here, M means magnetic moment. Then here you take it as what it is the M double dash. For this case, it is equal to then the what is 0 into small m, length into what is the pole strength. This will be equal to 0, isn't it? Therefore, this is what that means. Here, when a steel wire of length has a magnetic moment M, when it is in straight form, magnetic moment is m. When it is into what is bent in the form of a semicircle, then the magnetic moment, it is equal to, we found that this is equal to 2m divided by pi. And next, when it is bent into a circle, then the magnetic moment will be equal to 0. The magnetic moment is 0 because that when that wire it is what it is bent into a circle, the two poles will coincide. Hence, the magnetic length will become equal to 0. Hence, the magnetic moment will be equal to 0. Therefore, this is the way you can find the magnetic moment when it is bent in the form of a semicircle and it is a circle. After solving the first problem, now let us come to the second problem. Now here, a short magnet. Now see, already it is mentioned that whatever the magnetic dipole it is given, it is a bar magnet of short one, isn't it? That means the length is very small. Therefore, a short magnet of moment, that means its magnetic moment it is given to you 0.2 ampere meter square. Then I think I might have forgotten to mention you at that time that the unit of the magnetic moment is ampere meter square, isn't it? Now, calculate in short form, I have written it as magnetic field. MF means magnetic field at a point distance 8 centimeter from the center. The point is at a distance of 8 centimeter from the center of the magnet. Then what you have to do? You have to calculate what is the field along the axial line of the bar magnet or dipole, and second is on the equatorial line. Now, it is a very simple. I think if you remember the formulas, concerned formulas to this one, just to substitute the value, simplify, you will get the answer. Now here, it is given magnetic moment M is equal to 0.2 ampere meter square. Next, the distance of the point is from the center of the magnet. The D is equal to, how much it is given to you? 8 centimeter. Now this you have to convert in terms of meters, 8 into 10 raised to minus 2 meters. Now, first you have to calculate what it is the field on the axial line. Field on the axial line. Now, as you know that if this is a bar magnet, this is a center, north pole and a south pole, it is north and south pole, and this is the center of the magnet. Now here this is the point P, which is at a distance of D is equal to 8 centimeter from the center. Now at this point, what is the magnetic field? Now see, this point is what it is and the axial line. Now what is the value of the magnetic field here? You have to calculate. Now as you are already familiar about the formula that field along the axial line due to a short magnet, he says, isn't it? Now this value, it is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi 2m divided by d cube. This is the formula. Now this is equal to mu naught by 4 pi value, it is equal to a constant 10 raised to minus 7 into 2, and it is given as how much it is the 0.2 divided by then this 8 d cube. That means 8 into 10 raised to minus 2. What it is the whole cube? You get it here. Now this is equal to, then this is a 10 to the power of minus 7 into what it is the 2 into what it is this 0.2 can be written as, for easy convenience it is, then 2 into 10 raised to minus 1 you can write divided by this what it is the 8 cube means 8 into 8 into 8 into 10 raised to minus 6, you get it here. Now this is equal to this is a 2, what it is the, then this is 4 and this you will get 2 here. Now this is equal to, you will get minus 1, minus 7, minus 1 is 10 to the power of minus 8 or 1 divided by, I can write this as what it is a 16 into 8, isn't it? 2 into 8 is 16 into 8 into, you see here, this value you take to the numerator. Now when you take this into the numerator, it will become as a plus 1, is it? Sorry, plus 6 it is it? Minus 6. That means when it goes to the numerator, it becomes as a plus 6. Then plus 6 minus 8 is 10 to the power of minus 2 Tesla it is, unit. Now see, this is what the field along the what is the axial line. Now you simplify this one, you will get what is the value. Next, you have to calculate what is the field along the equatorial line, isn't it? Now, field along the equatorial line, it is equal to what it is, the mu naught divided by 4 pi, isn't it? M divided by d cube. Then substitute the values and simplify. This is the one method. Then instead of that, you are having the relation between the field along the axial line and equatorial line, so that very easily you can solve it, isn't it? Now here, mu naught by 4 pi 10 raised to minus 7 you substitute, then m value it is given to you, d value it is given to you, substitute all those values, simplify, you will get the answer, no doubt. But still, what it is the easiest way is here the second method. It is second method. Then here, yes, you know that field along the axial line, it is equal to 2 times the field along the equatorial line, isn't it? Because here from this equation you can see it, is it 2 you write it here, then what will happen is mu naught by 4 pi is m by d cube into 2 you get, then that value is nothing but field along the equatorial line. That means 2 times of this one. This is what already is it we have what is approved while we are discussing the derivation of the field along the axial line and the equatorial line. Now, already you have calculated this one. Therefore, field along the equatorial line, it is equal to this BA divided by what is the 2. Now, after the calculation, whatever the value you get it here, is it? That is substitute and divided by 2 you do it. Then you will get what is the value of the field along the equatorial line, isn't it? Now, therefore, this is the simplest way how we can solve this one by using this relation. Now, let us come to the third problem. Here, a bar magnet of length 0.12 meters. Now, it is given that length of the magnet it is given to you means you should not consider it as a short magnet, isn't it? Then a bar magnet of length 0.12 meters and pole strength is given. Its pole strength, it is 10 ampere meter. Ampere meter, it is a unit of what it is the pole strength. Then he wants to calculate what it is, find the magnetic field at a point, isn't it? At a point which is at a distance of 0.12 meters from the center along the axial line, and next at a point distance 0.1 meter, isn't it, from the center along the equatorial line. That means this what it is it shows that you have to find the field along the axial line and equatorial line of a bar magnet. It is not a short magnet. Then here, what are the given values to you? Given that is the magnetic length. That is, in case of this one, in the mathematical formulas, whatever we have derived it, is it? For the convenience, we have taken it as magnetic length as a 2L, isn't it? Therefore, here this 2L, it is equal to 0.12 meters. Then L is equal to this 0.12 divided by what it is a 2. This is nothing but 0.06 meters. This is given, and the next is pole strength. It is represented by small m, isn't it? Then magnetic moment is represented by capital M, whereas pole strength it is represented by small m. Now this small m, it is equal to 10 ampere meter. Now the first you have to take what it is the field along the axial line. Axial line, isn't it? At D is equal to how much it is? 0.12 meters from the center. Now, yes, you are what it is familiar that the field along the axial line formula is what? This is equal to, then here mu naught divided by 4 pi, this 2m, isn't it? D divided by d square minus of L square whole square it is. Now, this is equal to here. You can write this as, then this is mu naught divided by 4 pi, it is nothing but it is equal to 10 to the power of minus 7, and this is 2, and capital M can be written as what it is the 2L into m, and the next is what it is the d divided by what it is the d square minus of L square whole square it is. Now this is equal to 10 to the power of minus 7 to 2L value, it is given to you directly, it is equal to 0.12. Then this is 0.12 into this is 10 into d is equal to 0.12. This also divided by here d is nothing but it is the 0.12 whole square minus of what it is, this is 0.06 whole square. Then this you will get it here as a square it is. Doesn't it? Now this is equal to, you can write this as here 10 to the power of minus 7, you keep it as it is, into then what will happen is 10 into this much means you will get 2, I will write into this, it is written as 10 into 0.12 is 1.2 into always you remember that for the easy calculations, isn't it? Don't put the number in what it is a decimal form, isn't it? You convert it into the what is the whole number so that the calculations will become easy for you. Now that means instead of writing 0.12 here, better you write it is 12 into 10 raised to then minus 2 divided by here this is equal to, then here also be, if you want to make it square, you make it as 12 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole square minus of here this can be written as 6 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole square and it's square you do it. Okay. Now this what to do is 12 into 12 you do it 144 10 raised to minus 4 and this is a 36 into 10 raised to minus 4, you take out the common of that is here this I will write it, then this is what 1.2 into 2 is how much you will get it here 2.4 into 12 into, now you see here 10 raised to minus 7 minus 2 is 10 to the power of minus 9 divided by, then this is equal to here 12 into 12 is 144 into 10 raised to minus 2 minus of what you get it here 36 into 10 raised to square it is there, no, therefore it will become as a minus 4 and here also be it is a minus 4, then we will get it here it is a 2. Now what you do is 10 to the power of minus 4 you take out common, you take its square minus 8 you will get, then you subtract this one and do the simplification, isn't it? Then you will get what is the feed along the axial line. Now see, without wasting the time, I feel better that this calculation you can do it, isn't it? Then you are having calculator, all those things very easily you can calculate instead of wasting the time to do the calculation here. Now after simplifying this one, then you will get what is the feed along the what it is the axial line. Next, feed along the equatorial line, this is equal to, formula is mu naught divided by 4 pi into what it is the m divided by what it is the d square plus L square whole raised to what it is the 3 by 2. Now this is equal to, again you substitute all the values 10 to the power of minus 7. Now this can be written as a 2L into m divided by, then here again what it is a d square, that means 0.12 is it 8, d value is 0.12 means that we have written it as what it is a 12 into 10 raised to minus 2 square plus what it is a this is what your 10 raised to minus, that is this you can write it here as directly 6 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole square, isn't it, raised to what it is a 3 by 2, this one. Now you do, then here this is equal to 10 to the power of minus 7, then magnetic length it is given as what it is a 2L is 0.12 into 10 divided by, then you do this one, that is 144 into 10 raised to minus 4 plus 36 into 10 raised to minus 4 raised to 3 by 2. Now this is the feed along the equatorial line. Now Here, after simplification of this one, then you can, find what is the value of the field along the equatorial line. Now, one more point I want to make it clear. In the previous case, isn't it? In the previous case, then after field along the equatorial line, isn't it? We have calculated by taking this relation that field along the axial line, it is equal to the 2 times of the field along the equatorial line. Now see, this is possible only when the distance of the point in both the cases, it is the same. That you make it clear, isn't it? That is, when you can use this relation, you can use this relation when the distance of the point from the center, either it may be on the axial line or it may be on the equatorial line, it should be at the same distance. But in this case, the distance of the point on the axial line and the equatorial line, it is not same, it is a different. Then here you are, distance 0.12 meters from the center along the axial line, isn't it? Distance d value is 0.12, whereas on the equatorial line, its value is not 0.12, but it is at 0.1. Therefore, the points are at a different distances means then you cannot use this relation, isn't it? Once again, I want to make it clear stressingly. Listen here, when you have to use this formula, field along the axial line is equal to 2 times of the field along the equatorial line. This relation is holds good only when the distance of the point from the center along the axial line or equatorial line must be same. Then only you have to use it. But whereas in this problem, the distances are not same, so that we cannot use that relation. Separately, you have to calculate. Now, let us come to the fourth problem. Now, here it is given that the Earth's magnetic field at the equator is 4 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla. Calculate the magnetic moment of the Earth. Now, for the calculation of this one, radius of the Earth, it is given to you. Now, here the Earth's magnetic field at equator, that is given to you. Now you have to calculate what is the magnetic moment of the Earth. That is, in lower classes you have studied that Earth acts like a magnet, isn't it? It is acting like a magnet. See, you wonder that Earth produces such a strong magnetic field, that even when you go the hundreds of kilometers above the surface of the Earth, you will find the Earth's magnetic field. Such a strong magnet, the Earth, it is acting, isn't it? Now, if Earth is acting like a magnet means, then it is like a dipole type, it has got the magnetic moment, etc., isn't it? Therefore, he is asking to calculate what is the magnetic moment of the Earth. Now, see, for the calculation of this one, what is given to you? Field, isn't it? At the equator, it is given to you. Field at the equator is given, and radius of the Earth, it is also be given to you. By using these two values, you have to calculate what is the magnetic moment of the Earth. Now here, carefully you see, suppose if this is the Earth, if you imagine that the Earth is like this, then you might be knowing that this is the north, this is the south, east, west, like this one. Now this is, we call it as the Earth's magnetic poles, and this is east west, this is called as the equator. This is the equator. Now, when you imagine that, isn't it? When you imagine that if Earth acts like a magnet means it is as good as, for understanding purpose it is, isn't it? Then inside the Earth there is a big magnet, it is placed like this. This is a big magnet. Now, this is the north and this is the south poles, isn't it? Now, the field at the equator, here what is the Earth's magnetic field that is given to you? Its value equal to how much it is? The 4 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla. Then magnetic field at the equator, it is given to you. By using this one, you have to calculate what is the magnetic moment of the Earth. Now see, looking to this figure, if it is Earth's magnet is like this, now field at this point it is given to you means, then when you what it is the compare our with what it is the magnetic dipole, now this point for this Earth's magnet, it acts as the point on the equatorial line, isn't it? Now, if I draw the figure, you just realize it. This is the Earth's, this is a magnetic dipole north and south, isn't it? Then this is the axial line, isn't it? Now, this is the equatorial line. Now what you do is this one, you turn like this one, isn't it? When you turn like this, then it is like this one. When you turn like this, isn't it? Then this, it will come here and this, it will come here. That means this point or this Earth's magnet is like the point on the equatorial line. That means whatever the magnetic field at the equator it is given to you, it is as good as the field along the equatorial line of the Earth's magnet is given to you. Then you calculate what is its magnetic moment. Now, the distance of the point from the center, this distance, it is equal to what it is the radius of the Earth, isn't it? This D, it is equal to what it is the radius of the Earth. Now, yes, you know that the field along the equatorial line, isn't it? Formula is what? Formula is mu naught divided by 4 pi m divided by d cube. Isn't it? Now here, this what it is the field along the equatorial line, this is value it is given to you, how much it is the 4 into 10 raised to minus 5, this is equal to, then mu naught by 4 pi is 10 raised to minus 7 m divided by distance is nothing but it is equal to r cube, radius. Now you want to calculate the value of this m. Therefore, from this equation, this m is equal to, now you cross multiply here, r cube into 4 into 10 raised to minus 5. This will comes to denominator 10 raised to minus 7. Now this is equal to, then this, what it is, the r value, it is given to you, how much it is, 6.4 into 10 raised to 3 whole cube it is, into what it is, 4 into, now this goes to the numerator, plus 7. Plus 7 minus 5 is 10 raised to plus 2, isn't it? Now this is equal to, then since this is a cube, you can write it here as 6.4 into 6.4 into 6.4 into what it is, the 10 to the power of 9 into 10 raised to 2. Now totally what you do is you calculate this one, isn't it? Whatever the value you get, this into 10 to the power of what it is, the 11, what it is, the this much is the magnetic moment, and you have to write its unit ampere meter square, isn't it? Therefore, this is the value of the magnetic moment of the Earth's magnet. You simplify this one and that value you put it here, you will get what is the Earth's magnetic, what it is the moment, isn't it? Now this is 6.4 into 6.4 into 6.4. You calculate and simplify this one, then multiply into 10 raised to 11, then you will get what is the Earth's magnetic moment. Now I have what it is the forgotten to put the value, that is 4 is there here. The cube of this one, it is 6.4, this, isn't it? Into this is 10 raised to 9 you will get, and into 4 is there, isn't it? Then in the same here also, this into 4 you do it, into this totally you will get it here 10 to the power of 11, and its unit is ampere meter square, isn't it? Now you simplify this value, then you will get into 10 raised to 11, that gives the magnetic moment of the what it is, the Earth's magnet. Now let us come to the next problem. Then let us see what are the given values here. Magnetic field at 2 points on the axis of a circular coil carrying current are in the ratio 8:1, isn't it? If the points are at distances 0.12 meters and 0.48 meters from the center, then what will be the radius of the circular coil? This is what you have to calculate. Now listen here, the given values are here. If what it is the, you consider this is a circular coil carrying current, is it it? Now this is the axis of a circular coil. Now let us consider there are 2 points on the axis. Let us say this is A and this is the B, isn't it? Now if you consider at this point, isn't it, the magnetic field is what it is the B1, and here it is what it is the B2. Next, the distance of this point from the center, if you consider this as x1, it is equal to 0.12 meters, isn't it? Then whereas this is point B, it at a distance of x2, it is equal to 0.48 what it is the meters. Then you have to calculate what is the radius of the circular coil, what you have to calculate it. Now here, for the calculation of this one, is it given, what are the given to you? Then at this point, if the field is B1, at this point the field is B2, ratio means B1 by B2, it is equal to 8:1 means 8 divided by 1. This is given to you. The next is here, x1 is distance of the first point from the center, it is equal to 0.12 meters, and next distance of the point B from the center is 0.48 meters. Then by using this one, you have to calculate what is the value of the radius of the coil. This is what you have to calculate it. Now as you know that the general formula of the field at any point on the axis of a circular coil formula is here. This B, it is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi or 2 pi Ni r square divided by r square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2. This is the formula. Now you apply this formula for the point A and point B. Then when is it at A, is it B1, it is equal to what you get it here, mu naught divided by 4 pi and 2 pi Ni r square divided by r square plus what it is the x1 square whole raised to 3 by 2, isn't it? Next at B, then the field is how much? It is a B2, isn't it? Mu naught divided by 4 pi, isn't it? All the values are same, isn't it? Only the distance is different, isn't it? Then here this is 2 pi Ni r square divided by r square plus x2 square you get here, raised to 3 by 2. Now here, since the ratio of is it B1, B2 is given, therefore you divide these two equations. Then here you see what you get, B1 divided by B2, it is equal to, then here students who are well familiar about the basic mathematics, they can do very easily, isn't it? Then otherwise you have to do what it is the 2 or 3 steps, what it is the additional steps, what is the you have to do it. Now here this mu naught divided by 4 pi 2 pi Ni r square divided by r square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2 divided by this is mu naught divided by 4 pi 2 pi Ni r square divided by r square plus x2 square whole raised to 3 by 2. Now this will get cancelled, isn't it? This is also be gets cancelled, isn't it? Now here this is equal to, now what will happen is this total factor, it goes to the what it is the numerator, and this will comes to denominator, and I think for the simplification, is it I wants to reduce the steps, then this will go to the numerator and this will come denominator, but the powers for those it is the same, so that you can write this as r square, isn't it? Then r square plus x1 square divided by r square plus x2 square whole raised to 3 by 2, because both are having the same power. Now B1 by B2 value is how much? It is 8 divided by 1, isn't it? Now this 8 can be written as what it is the 2 or better that can I write like this one? 4 by 1 raised to 3 by 2. Isn't it? Because 4 can be written as what it is, the 2 square. Isn't it? Then 2 square means 2 will get cancelled. 2 cube you will get. 2 cube is nothing but it is equal to 8. 8 by 1. So that this 8, is it 8? If I write in the form of power of 3 by 2, that means you will get 4. 4 by 1. Now this is equal to, you will get here r square plus x1 square divided by r square plus x2 square raised to 3 by 2. Now on both sides powers is same, you can cancel this one. Now what you do is, what it is, the cross multiply directly, you will get it 4r square plus what it is, a 4x2 square is equal to, or otherwise let us write this as 4 into r square plus x2 square is equal to r square plus x1 square. This one. Now, whatever you write, this is the same you are getting. Now, this is 4r square plus what it is, the 4x2 square is equal to r square plus x1 square. Isn't it? Now, here, this, when you do it, then what you get it here is, this is equal to, this factor you take to the right side, then what you get here, this here I have made what it is, committed a mistake, small mistake I have committed. Then you see, I want to rectify here. That is, now this is what it is going to the numerator. This is x1 square it is. Now this is going to the numerator. This will comes to denominator, so that carefully you see here, this is x2 square, whereas this is x1 square. Correct? Because this is going up and this is will comes to here. Now, therefore, this you will get it here. Now x2 square, this is x1 square. Isn't it? Therefore, here you will get 4x1 square and this is the x2 square. Isn't it? Now, you simplify this one. You take this, what is the r square left side, then what you get, 4r square minus of r square is 3r square. Therefore, this is 3r square. It is equal to x1 square minus 4x2 square. Now, this is equal to x1 square, again it is, here it is 4 x1 square, then minus of 4 x2 square minus of 4x1 square. x2 square minus 4x1 square, right? This is 4x1 square and this is a okay. Now here x2 value equal to how much? X2 value is 0.48. Now I want to what it is, write this one 0.48 is it 8 whole square minus 4 times 0.12 square it is. Now this is equal to here, if you want to write this as what it is 0.48 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole square minus 4 into 12 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole square. Now this is equal to, then you will get it here 48 into 48 into what it is this 10 raised to minus 4. Next minus of what you get it here, this is 4 into 12 into 12 into 10 raised to minus 4 you get. Now what you do is 10 raised to minus 4 you take out common, then you will get it here 48 into 48 minus 48 into 2 isn't it? Into this is a 10 to the power of minus 4 you get. Now this is a value of 3r square. Now what you do is you simplify this one, isn't it? Then you calculate what is the r square. That means this total value divided by 3 you do it. Then if you want r, you take the square root of that, isn't it? Now that what it is the calculation you can do it, isn't it? After doing this one, then you will get what is the radius that is of the circular coil of this one. Now in this way you can solve this what it is the problem. Now, let us come to the next problem. Now, here it is given that a coil of 200 turns and radius 2 centimeter carries a current of how much it is? 10 amperes. Calculate its magnetic moment. Now, as you know that while we are discussing about the topic magnetostatics, then what is the magnetic dipole? All those things we have discussed. The examples for magnetic poles are: one is the bar magnet, isn't it, which is having the north and south pole. Second is the a conductor or a circular what the conductor carrying current. It also acts like a what it is a dipole, isn't it? Because according to the magnetic effects of electric current, when the current flows through a conductor, magnetic field is produced around the conductor. If it is producing the magnetic field, means it acts like a magnet. That is nothing but it is a dipole. And every dipole, it has its own magnetic moment. Like that, here a circular coil carrying current acts like a dipole and it has got the what is the magnetic dipole moment. Then what is the value of the magnetic dipole moment that you have to calculate. Now see, for the calculation of this one, what are the given values to you? Given values are here the number of turns in the coil, it is 200, and the radius, it is equal to 2 centimeter. This you have to express in terms of meters, 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meters radius. And how much amount of current it is carrying? It is equal to 10 amperes. Then what is the magnetic moment of this circular conductor? Now the formula of the magnetic moment of a circular conductor, I hope then you might be remembering that while we are discussing about the Ampere's circuit law, isn't it? Magnetic moment, it is equal to NA into I. Now N is nothing but what it is the number of turns. A is what it is the area and I is the current, isn't it? Now this is equal to the number of turns. It is given, it is a 200 into 10, 200. Here the area, it is not directly given to you, sorry. Then area of the circular conductor, area of a circle formula is what? Pi r square, isn't it? This into the current, it is equal to 10. Now this is equal to, now 200 into 10, it is nothing but it is, you can write 2000, tell directly 2 into 10 raised to 3, isn't it? Into 3.142 into radius value, it is given 2 into what it is the 10 raised to minus 2 whole square it is. Now this is equal to here this 2 into 10 raised to 3 into 3.142 into this what it is the square means 4 into 10 raised to minus 4. Now this is equal to, now when you multiply with 2 you will get it here 4, 8 or 2, 6, isn't it? Into 4 into plus 3 minus 4 is nothing but 10 raised to minus 1. Now you simplify this one, then you will get what is the magnetic moment of this circular coil. Now the unit of the magnetic moment is ampere meter square. Now this formula you remember it. Magnetic moment of a conductor or circular conductor carrying current which acts like a dipole, its value is NAI, number of turns, area of the circular conductor, and I is the current carrying through the circular conductor. Then substitute the values and simplify, you will get what is the magnetic moment. Now let us come to the next problem. Now this problem concerns to the properties of the magnetic materials. Now here what is given? A paramagnetic substance of susceptibility. That is the susceptibility of the paramagnetic substance. It is given to you. Its value is 4 into 10 raised to minus 4. Is placed in the magnetizing field of, is it? That is the applied, the magnetizing field is 6 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla. You stop. Then what you have to do? You have to calculate intensity of magnetization. Second is what is the relative permeability and what is the permeability. Now, while we are discussing about the properties of the magnetic materials, we come across that what is the susceptibility means what, permeability is what, relative permeability, and the relation between the susceptibility, permeability, all those points what we have discussed in detail. Now here, if you know the relation between the permeability and susceptibility, then very easily you can solve this problem. Now let us see here, what are the given values to you? The given values are given the susceptibility, that is represented by what it is, a chi is equal to how much it is, 4 into 10 raised to minus 4. It is what that substance, it is placed what it is in the magnetizing field, isn't it? Now the magnetizing field or intensity of magnetizing field represented by capital H, its value it is given as 6 into 10 raised to minus 4, isn't it? This one. Now by using these two, you have to find what is the intensity of magnetization. It is represented by capital I. Next, second is relative permeability mu r, and the third is the permeability mu. And is it in addition to this one, this mu naught, that is mu naught means it is the absolute permeability. This is what also be given to you. Now by using these values, then let us see how can we calculate these what values which you have to calculate it. Now here, as you know that the basic definition of susceptibility is what? Susceptibility, it is equal to the ratio of the intensity of magnetization to the intensity of magnetizing field. This is the formula. And therefore, you have to calculate the value of I. Therefore, you cross multiply here. This I, it is equal to the chi into H. Now, these two values are given to you. Now, this chi value, it is 4 into 10 raised to minus 4, and H, it is equal to 6 into what it is, the 10 to the power of minus 4. Now this is equal to, here you will get here 24 into 10 to the power of minus 8. This is the intensity of magnetization. Now the next is you have to calculate what is the relative permeability and permeability. Now yes, you know that this what it is, a mu r relative permeability, it is equal to 1 plus what is the chi. This is a relation. Then this we have discussed while we are discussing about the properties of the magnetic materials, diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic materials. Now here this is equal to 1 plus, is it? Now chi value, it is how much it is given to you? This is what is the 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 it is. Now this is equal to then 1 plus, then this you will get it here as 0.00 what it is, 04 I think. Now this is equal to 1.0004. This is what you get it here, relative permeability. And the next is permeability. It is nothing but here, yes, you know that mu r relative permeability is equal to the ratio of permeability of the material to the what it is, the absolute permeability. Therefore this mu, it is equal to mu r into what it is, a mu naught. Now mu r, this is equal to, you got it, 1.0004 into 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Now you simplify this one, then you will get what is the permeability, isn't it? Therefore, now here the important formula is this one is one and second is this one. If you know, remember these two, that remaining any value which you want to calculate, that you can calculate what it is very easily. Now here, all of you listen. Now these are the some of the problems, is it concerned to the topic about the magnetostatics and what it is the property or magnetic properties, isn't it? And listen here, for your kind information, in the revised syllabus, in every topic, compulsory you will get the problems, isn't it? Therefore, you should not neglect the what it is solving the problems, isn't it? One more thing is that now whatever the problems in the examination will appear, isn't it? Those problems are very, very easy to solve, isn't it? When you remember the what it is the concerned formulas, isn't it? Then if you remember the formulas, then some of the values will be given to you. Then you have to calculate one. Direct substitution will be there. There is no any much difficulty in solving the problems, isn't it? Now listen here, for your kind information. Then already you have what it is the completed your PUC second year. Then you are well familiar that the problems, is it whatever will appear in the PUC second year, they are little bit difficult to solve it, isn't it? But in the degree level, they are still very, very simple, isn't it? There is no what it is much complication, isn't it? No confusion, nothing, isn't it? Direct formula, if you remember it, isn't it? Then write down the formula. In that formula, some of the values are given to you, and the remaining whichever is unknown, that very easily you can calculate, isn't it? I hope, isn't it? One thing is, in the revised syllabus, compulsory in every topic you will get the problems, and if you remember the formulas, isn't it, then very easily you can solve the problems, so that you don't neglect about solving the problems, isn't it? I hope, isn't it, these what are the problems you might have understood. Now I will stop here. The remaining, what it is the next topic, I think regarding the electromagnetic induction, isn't it? Now, regarding the electromagnetic induction, I think it is not a new topic for you. Regarding this electromagnetic induction, already, isn't it, you have studied in your lower classes. I hope before what it is the coming to the next lecture about the electromagnetic, what it is the induction, my sincere suggestion for all of you is that just what it is that you go through the basics of the electromagnetic induction, so that very easily you can understand while we are discussing about the topic what it is the electromagnetic induction. With this, I will stop here. Thank you one and all.